Hey y'all, it's my Mercedes and I am back with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you a much easier method that I used to achieve these Faux Locs. Y'all, I saved so much more time this time around compared to last time, and honestly I think that's why I haven't done Faux Locs again, because it was just so tedious and time consuming. So this method that I'm going to show you today is a method by this YouTuber I discovered. Her name is Princess Diamond. If you want to refer back to her video, if you look on her video on the thumbnail, it's going to say soft locks, but I'm just going to show you how I incorporated her technique into achieving my look today. All right, so I'm going to get into the products I used. The first hair product that I used was the Twisted Up Xpressions hair. Y'all know this is my favorite twist hair if y'all have seen my previous videos. But at first, I was using the 16-inch, which was great when I was using shorter pieces of my hair, but I realized I had to move up to the 24-inch in order to go a little bit longer on wrapping my lock. So I would definitely suggest getting this hair, especially if you have longer hair or if you know that you want to wrap it a little bit longer down the lock. I would definitely use the 24-inch compared to the 16-inch. And the locks that I used were the Boss Nu Locs. You're gonna see color 2 right here. I didn't use color 2. This is just the only full pack I have left to show you guys, but I used 1B for my styles. You can find both this and the Twisted Up hair at any beauty supply store for the most part, and definitely on Amazon. I'm gonna put links below so that you guys can just have direct access to the products. I also use rubber bands for this method because I've noticed lately that when I use rubber bands, the style lasts a lot longer. And also I noticed that it's easier for me to maintain the style with rubber bands because I am the type that likes to wash my hair while I am wearing a style, because I tend to have like a flaky scalp at times. So I wanna make sure that I keep it clean and hydrated. So if you're one that washes your hair a little bit more frequently, I would definitely suggest using the rubber bands, because if you're not using it, it's a lot easier for your hair to get frizzy in styles like this and twists. So that's just my preference. You don't have to use rubber bands, especially if you're worried about tension. But if you are using rubber bands, you wanna make sure that you aren't putting those rubber bands on tightly so that it's not manipulating your hair and adding tension to your scalp. Another thing that I used was the Shine and Jam, and y'all know, if y'all seen previous videos, that this is also a staple of mine, because I like to make sure that when I am doing protective styles like this, that it's very sleek at the base of my braids and my twists and my locks. So I used this, and then I also used a crochet hook. All right, we about to get started. All right. You're gonna notice in the background, I got video pause on YouTube, some house music. But yeah, I like this little channel, it's cute. It's Flavor Trip. And yeah, they just post like some really cool chill house music. They got cool backgrounds and stuff, so I definitely recommend. But okay, let's get into the video. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take this section. I've already moisturized it and everything. And of course, y'all always know that I use this Shine and Jam to lay it down. So yeah, I'm just gonna put a little bit of this at the root. With this style, I am using rubber bands. You don't have to. Of course, you wanna make sure that your rubber bands aren't on too tight, because you wanna make sure that you're not adding too much tension to your scalp. So yeah, just make sure that when you're putting those rubber bands on, don't put them on too tight. All right, so got the Shine and Jam on. Gonna place my rubber band on. Y'all, I'm so excited about this method because it really cut off a lot of time. Alrighty. All right, so we got the rubber band in. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my Boss Nu Loc, and I'm gonna open this little center part that has the little loop. And what I just do now is I take the pointy part of my comb and I just put it through the loop. And I kind of set it like this so that it's easier for me to grab when it's time for me to add this lock into my braid. So basically what I'm gonna do is I am going to braid this section off first. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of these sections and I'm going to thread it through the loop of this lock. So we got it right here. And then I'm gonna take this section of hair that I looped through the lock and pair it with the middle section. And then I'm going to continue it as a regular braid with one of the locks being one of the sections for the braid. Y'all, I love this method so much because it saved me so much time. It's a lot neater at the root when I wrap the hair around. And you're gonna notice right here, it's a little messy, but when I take the spring twist hair or the Afro spring twist hair and wrap it around this section, you're not gonna notice it. All right, so it's gonna get to the point where you're not gonna be able to braid anymore and it's gonna be a little bit left. What I do is I either wrap it around like this, or I kind of just twist it like this with my fingers. All right, so we got step 1 done. Step 2 is you're gonna take one of your sections of your spring twist hair. The good thing is that these are all pretty much pre-separated in the pack, but I usually separate it into 2 or 3 pieces depending on how thick my piece of hair is. So for this, I would separate this into 2. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my crochet hook, I'm going to thread it through here, and then I'm going to take the section of the hair, put it through the loop, close it, thread it through, and then I'm gonna place my fingers in here to identify where the separation is between both sides of the hair. And then I'm just gonna pull one side through. All right. And what I like to do when I wrap around is I like to get one of the sides very, very short. So pretty much like around right here. And then I hold it with the hair and then I start wrapping. And you just continue to wrap around, but make sure that when you're wrapping at the top, you wrap it around a few times so that the rubber band doesn't show or it doesn't slip easily. So I wrap around here maybe about 2 or 3 times, and then I start moving down. And keep in mind that I'm not really being precise about how I wrap around when I'm going down because I kind of want it to look more natural. Y'all, this process is gold. My life is so much easier doing this style. I honestly stopped doing this style before because it was just too much. It was very tedious. It took a lot of time. I think the problem I had the most was this wrapping part, which would unravel when I was using different hair. So I would definitely suggest using like a spring twist hair or hair that has a little bit more texture and coil. Before, I think I was using like water wave hair or something, and that stuff was sliding off and it was not lasting long. So once you have wrapped all of the hair that you can, you're gonna wanna take your lock and just rub the lock in between your hands like this. And this just kind of binds the hair together. It makes it a little bit less frizzy, but it makes the lock solid. All right, and that is it. Alrighty, so we're gonna do this one more time. And take your section of hair, get your shine and jam at the roots, and then you're gonna place the rubber band around this section. All right. definitely should have parted this a little bit better, but I'm not about to go back and do that. All right, so now you are going to get your new lock. You're going to split it or separate it to where the loop is. And I use my rat tail comb to secure the loop. So I just place it like this until I'm ready to add the lock on. I start out my braid. All right, so when I get around right here, maybe about an inch or so down, this is where I add my lock. So I take the loop, place one of the sections within the loop, and then I kind of just pull it down to make sure that the lock is secure again. So now that the loop is within one of the sections of hair, I pair this section of hair with one of the sections. Usually for me, it's the middle section. And so now I have 3 sections again, as if I'm doing a braid, and I use one of the locks as a section of the braid. Like that. And then you just continue to keep braiding down. When it gets about right here, I just kind of wrap it around a little bit. You don't even have to do that because the hair, the spring twist hair that you're gonna wrap around this whole section is going to cover it. So I just wouldn't be worried about that sticking out. One thing I will say though is that I am a little bit nervous about this takedown process because when I first started the back of my hair, I feel like I didn't put enough moisturizer on my actual hair, and I don't want it to get tangled in with the braiding hair. So what I will say is when you do this style, put a lot of oils and moisture in there so that it can easily slip out when you take it down. All right, so now that you got phase 1 done, you're gonna take one of your sections again of your hair. I usually split it into 2 or 3 pieces, usually 2, especially if the section is bigger. You're gonna take your crochet hook, slide it through here, take your section of hair. You're gonna wanna loop it through this hook, like that, in the middle. Don't forget to close this, y'all. Then pull it through. Find where this section splits. And then you're gonna wanna pull one side through. Like that. Now you're gonna wanna pull one side all the way over. So one side should be a lot shorter than the other. So I like to go like around right here, about an inch down the braid. Secure this section with the braid and the lock. And now all you're gonna do is you're going to wrap around this whole section of hair. And like I said, I usually wrap around at the root about 2 or 3 times, and then I start working my way down to make sure it's secure and that the rubber band doesn't show. This is really weird. This lighting's really weird because it looks like there's a bulge right here, but it's really not. I think it's the lighting. I don't want y'all to think I'm pulling my hair out right now. I don't know why it looks like that. That's weird. But yeah, just keep wrapping, y'all. I really want to play this music on the TV, but I don't want it to distract anybody. And I'm not trying to get in trouble for copyright or whatever on YouTube because I know how y'all be sometimes. We are approaching the end. Keep wrapping, keep wrapping, keep wrapping. All right, so now to secure the lock and make sure that it blends in and it binds, just rub it through your hands like this and make sure you go all the way down the lock. And we are done, y'all. Let me know what y'all think about that technique. All right, so I wanted to point out a couple of things that I noticed differently that I liked a lot better this time around. So with this technique, it's a lot less likely for the lock to come out. I remember when I was doing the style and putting the lock at the base of like the braid, that it was a lot easier for my lock to slip out compared to just braiding it within the braid. Another thing that I like about this method is the fact that when I wrap the additional hair, it's a lot smoother and sleeker going down. Before, I had more of a bulge at the root of my braids because that's where that hook and loop was with the Faux Locs, if that makes sense. So basically, it's just a lot less bulgy at the top. It looks a lot more natural and it's a lot more sleek. I'm realizing that this time around, my hair lays down flatter, whereas before it felt like there was a lot more tension towards my scalp, and it just feels a lot better. It feels a lot lighter this way. Also, I definitely recommend using a twist hair. When I used the water wave hair before in my previous lock video, it was a lot more likely for the hair to come out of the lock because the hair wasn't curly enough, if that makes sense. I hope the lighting is better this time around. This is like the first time I've done a day video in a while. So let me know if this looks a lot better than what I've been doing before and if you prefer this over my previous videos. But yeah, I hope this video is helpful. I hope that you guys have an amazing day. Please like this video if you like this video. Also subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And if you want to get updates on new videos, make sure you hit that notification bell. I will see you guys in the next video.